How did you find your band?
Yeah, good question. I've known, there's a fiddle player in the band. His name's Evan Morden. I've known him since we're babies. Like, I grew up in Humboldt. He was also Humboldt raised. And he, uh, yeah, he picked up violin when he was like 2 or 3 or something, about the same time I did. He was like a few years younger than me. And but he kept with it, and he's real good. So when I got back from college, I started playing with him a little bit. And we met our other songwriter in the band, Michael David, who people might know from playing around. He does a lot of solo gigging, and he's the premier wedding acoustic guitar singer player in the area, and he's an excellent musician as well. Met him through like a mutual friend. I've been part of like the swing dance community here for years upon years. This is another thing we can talk about. Just a whole nother area. But yeah, his wife swing dancing, and I met him through her and found out that he's amazing and convinced him to come play a show with us. And then yeah, we played for a while as the Gatehouse Wall with the 3 of us, and brought in our bass player a year or 2 in. Our bass player actually came and played on our first album as like a guest, and then we're like, oh, it sounds so good, we got to keep him. And that's Nate Zwordling. Yeah, just a really, really excellent group of musicians that I'm real lucky to play with.
Yeah, and it sounds like it came really from an organic place. Like you guys all just kind of found each other.
Yeah, it was very much like we want, and it's still like, and it's still I think our motto of like, we want to play music together. That is the primary thing. As opposed to like, we want to play gigs to make money. We want to have the most fans. Like, it's always fun to have fans listen to your music, but like, we practice because we honestly enjoy the process of creating music together. And when we get to share it, that's wonderful. But we're not practicing. We don't practice with like the idea of being like, we need to be perfect for a particular show so that we can, go to the next thing and build off of that in a certain way. I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but like, I don't know. It's just kind of the way our band works is we're very organically inclined to play music together.
You're in it for the passion of it.
Yeah.
Not to...
It's very much a passion
project.
Make
$1 million. Yeah.
A passion project by good musicians who like value being tight and like being good. So I say we definitely practice, and we get practice to be better, but like without that being the entire purpose of it, is because we really just enjoy that process.
Is it hard being a member of a band in the sense that, you have all these conflicting ideas and directions? Because you always hear about these, great breakup bands where, one person wanted to go in this direction, the other person wanted to go over here, and then they fall apart.
Yeah.
Is it hard balancing that in a group? Or where you guys are so tight, it's just like you can flow?
Yeah, sure. It definitely can be. I think we all came into it with the idea that like, I don't know, or just it naturally formed in a certain way that whoever's song that we're playing, whether it's either one that I wrote, one that Michael wrote, or one that we do like fiddle tunes, and so our fiddle player is like the top, has like the ending say on what their vision for that song is. And so yeah, I think that's been our way to decide, I guess, if there are differences of opinions on how to follow something. But it hasn't happened that often. Like, I think we like each other's ideas for the most part. and at the same time, like, we don't have like a whole lot of like pride invested if we suggest an idea. I mean, sometimes for sure, but like, there's, if someone suggests an idea, they think it's a good idea, but if someone doesn't, if the owner of that song or the driving force behind that song is not as inclined for it, it's not going to be like, oh well, you hate my idea and think I'm a terrible musician, so I'm gonna like quit the band, kind of a thing. Which would be an extreme example, but
Yes.
like, but yeah, there's definitely musicians that have that. I get that in the studio a lot. If you bring in like, I don't know about a lot, but like, have to deal with that as a producer a lot. If you have, the band's recorded their thing and the singer recorded their thing, and now we're doing like lead guitar kind of fills, and the lead guitarist is just like playing all over the song and they're sounding super cool, and the singer or the songwriter for the song is like, that doesn't really fit the song, or can we like dial it back a bit? And then the lead guitarist is like, oh,
You guys are
throw up their
stifling my
hands.
creativity.
Yeah, throw up their hands, be like, if you don't want something sick for your song, then
Find another
find
guitarist.
another guitarist. I haven't had anyone quite that dramatic, but I've, there can be that energy sometimes, for sure. So yeah, we don't have that a lot in the Gatehouse.
Luckily.
Well, for sure. Luckily, we don't have that a lot. But it's usually just a communication thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wonderful story about like a recording studio where they had basically a band that was all yelling at the engineer to turn their parts up. And so the recording engineer gave each of them like their faders on the board that control the volume of each other's parts. So he gave each of them a different person's part, if that makes sense. So if he gave the vocalist the lead guitar fader, and gave the lead guitar the drum fader, and told them to mix the song. And by the end of the song, everything was turned down to 0. Everyone kept turning each other's parts down until there was nothing left of the song.
Oh God.
And so it's like a wonderful illustration of, you are the band and it's important what you're saying, but like, there's a reason you have a mixing engineer and a recording engineer or a producer to find the best parts of all of you and make sure that it sounds good as a whole, not just, individual parts standing out in that. So that's a fun hat to play sometimes when people's pride is involved, but it's good.